Right, put this on here, and then we shall begin the live properly. There we go. Right, so we've got Bobo in here. We've got one person. But today, we're going to be live. Depending how many people come in, depending what happens tonight. But I'm going to try and be live till 11 o'clock midnight, depending on what happens, anything exciting. Links are out for anyone on Twitter and Instagram to come and watch. But yeah, I'm going to go through some transfers that have happened. Probably every club, to be honest. I've got a lot of time. And yeah, maybe preview the game. Arsenal Brighton game tomorrow. Get your questions in the chat if you've got any questions. Yeah. Hopefully some big breaking news comes up shortly so we can discuss that as well. There you go. 1 minute ago, Everton just announced the signing of Mangala, Oriol Mangala, on loan, I believe. What else are we expecting to happen? Wolves, Carlos Soler to West Ham, sorry. That looks like it's going to be one that gets done. On loan again. Carlos Forbes to Wolves, loan to buy. Looks like it'll get done as well. Yeah, sure, Dubbo. We can try that. Palace as well. LaCroix and Eddie Nketiah head in there. Be good moves for Palace. Cornet off to Southampton on loan from West Ham, I believe. That's a good one as well. There are a few deals we're expecting to get done that we can discuss as the night progresses. Yeah, Neto, backup keeper on loan for Arsenal. See the news of Moreno has just had a bad injury on his first training session. Something to his shoulder fracture or something. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. But yeah, as I said, just any questions in the chat, try and answer them. Try and ask some people on the Twitter as well if they have anything they know. But yeah, let's start doing a little bit of previewing, shall we? And some transfers so far. Let's start with the old Arsenal, shall we? We'll go alphabetically. So we'll start with each club's arrivals, and we'll just do this in between any news we get. I'll keep a constant update. Sky Sports everywhere. Yeah, in for Arsenal so far. Got David Raya. Obviously, that was part of the loan deal with Brentford already, about 30 million quid. Moreno, as we just said, 30 million, around 30 million as well. Good signing, two good Spanish players in there, I think. Shame about the injury, but he shouldn't be out for too long, but Arteta didn't really comment on that. Raya, obviously, we know, good keeper already, and Calafiori for about 45 million quid. Another good signing, strengthens up that Arsenal backline even more. Yeah, he will be a rock, and I agree. He looks good in the Euros, but yeah, Arsenal are going to be a big problem this season defensively. That's about it for the incomings. Obviously, Neto, we said already, good backup keeper, was good for Bournemouth. Will do the job a lot better compared to some of the rotation options Arsenal have had. But in terms of outs, it has been busy, a little bit busy for Arsenal. Cole Hine out on loan to Valladolid. Nuno Tavares out on loan to Lazio. Sambi Lokonga out on loan to Sevilla. I quite liked him. I would have liked to see him stay in the Prem. I would have taken him at Brighton personally. Fabio Vieira's gone out on loan to Porto. Okonkwo went on a free to Wrexham. That was one that was always going to happen because Wrexham love him down there. It was unreal for them. And then he went out on a free to Al Jazeera, I think it's pronounced, in the UAE Pro League. Another one, probably not that big of a loss for Arsenal, really. He's a good player, but what they've got in the midfield now is just way better than him. Cedric got released, no club yet. Surprised that he hasn't gone somewhere yet because he's still a solid right back. And then obviously the two big departures, probably three big departures by 11 o'clock tonight. But Ramsdale, 20 million out, was about 18 with about 5 million add-ons, I think. Maybe a bit more, taking up to 25. Apparently on 100k a week now at Southampton, which is a lot for a newly promoted club. But we shall see how he gets on. Really important to have a solid goalkeeper, but we'll talk more about him later when we get to Southampton. Emil Smith-Rowe, probably the biggest loss out of all of them, for 13 million quid to Fulham. Good bit of money. Didn't really pay that much, but he's a really good prospect. He was a good prospect, should I say. But yeah, it's good business for Arsenal, I think. Got rid of what they needed to get rid of and got in a couple of reinforcements in the midfield and at the back. And obviously, the other big departure we expect by 11 o'clock is Eddie Nketiah to Palace. Probably the most typical Crystal Palace signing there's ever been. But he's either going to score a hatful or none. Not in the middle. None of this 5-6. He'll score a hatful or absolutely none. But that remains to be seen soon. And then we shall move on in a second. So Arsenal's transfer window, what would we rate that out of 10 in terms of departures and incomings as a whole? Personally, I'd give it maybe an 8. If they got that big striker in, maybe a Gyökeres, then I would have given it a 10. But yeah, moving on now to Aston Villa. Or someone in the chat. 7 out of 10. Would have been 8 out of 10 if we get an attacker. Yes, I agree with that. It's a solid window, probably one of the better ones in the league because you didn't really need that much. But you could definitely push on. With that attacker, could have put you a bit more close to winning the league. But for now, unless something happens in the final few hours, 7, 8 out of 10. Now, Aston Villa have had a crazy transfer window as well, with about 10 incomings, maybe a bit less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 incomings altogether. Starting with Ross Barkley from Luton, about 4 or 5 million quid. Great experience in their Champions League for Villa this season. Really, really important to have that experience. And he was very good last season for Luton, so could add something. And then Enzo Barrenechea, I think is pronounced, £8 million as part of the Douglas Luiz deal. And I believe he is one going out on loan as well. So that might be another one to keep an eye on. The end of the window, the last couple of hours. But again, another good young-ish 23 defensive midfielder there to replace Douglas Luiz next season. Lewis Dobbin in from Everton. Looks like a PSR deal. About £10 million. Another good youngster in there for Villa. Probably won't play too much this season, but he'll be a squad option. Samuel Ileng Jr., one that I'm excited to see. He's gone out on loan to... I can't remember where he's gone out on loan to. Barrenechea went to Valencia on loan and Ileng Jr., Bologna on loan. So, yeah, hopefully he has a good season because he looks like a really good young English prospect from Juve. Looks about £15 million. Then we move up to another winger. Jaden Philogene was all but done to Ipswich until Villa decided to activate their buyback, which comes in about, it says on here 16, but I think it might be a little bit more than that. Will he play much this season? He should do because he's a baller, but we shall see. With Diaby out, gives him a bit more space. Cameron Archer in, technically, for 16 million, the buyback, because Sheffield went down, but he went straight out to Southampton. So can't really count that as an in, really. Ian Maatson for £45 million. Very, very good signing. Needed a left back, Villa did, because Cash is always injured. I know he plays on the right. He did play on the left a little bit. But yeah, they didn't really have that proper left back like Maatson, which will be big for Emery. And obviously the biggest signing for Villa from Everton, 60 million-ish, probably rising, maybe 55. Amadou Onana. My name's not Andre, mate. From Everton. Big signing there, replacing Douglas Luiz. They needed that. And if you go and watch on the We All Follow channel podcast from last week, we spoke about Everton and the minimum height requirement. He adds that perfectly, the height for Villa, because they didn't have that tall of a squad, but obviously scored his debut against West Ham with a header. But yeah, good in window, I'd say, for Villa. Strengthens the depth, what they need for Champions League. Maybe be a little bit light up front. Watkins and Duran, is that enough? We shall see. In terms of outs, Diaby went for 60 to out Ittihad. A bit weird because he rejected them last summer to Villa to then leave. A bit weird, but obviously Douglas Luiz went out for 50 plus Barrenechea and Illing Jr. Surprised he left considering they had Champions League football this season, Villa, but can't really probably be paid a little bit more at Juve, and if he wants to play in Italy, fair enough. Went with his girlfriend, Alicia Lehmann. A funny deal there. As I said, Cameron Archer out. Southampton, £17 million-ish. A good sign of Southampton. Young player, got a little bit of experience in the Prem, should score some goals for them this season, and he might be the reason that they stay up. Tim Aurier-Bunan, crazy name to pronounce. 10 million from Everton, another player from Everton. Looks very good against us, Brighton. On his debut, another young player in the midfield, replacing Onana. Sanson, £4 million out. Didn't really play that much. And then there's a couple of free transfers like Callum Chambers and Alex Moreno. Not big losses, really. So what would we rate? It's probably only Doggo in the chat at the moment. But thanks for everyone that's come in so far. What would we rate Villa's transfer window out of 10? I will go with the loss of Diaby and Douglas Luiz makes it a bit of a dampener for them. But again, probably similar to Arsenal's, maybe an 8. Loaned out the youth players they needed to get them some experience. Yeah, got the depth they needed with Onana, Maatson, and Philogene. But yeah, moving on now. We'll have a little check of the old transfer. 6.8. Why 6.8? Why so low? Because I think they did lose 2 big players in Diaby and Douglas Luiz, but they did replace them with Onana and Philogene. Still don't see much quality. Interesting. I guess it's still players they brought in are quite young. Maybe next season is when we'll see them start to really flourish. Everton in talks apparently for Ernest Nuama. I think that's how it's pronounced. Could be a good signing for them. Tottenham, that just signed about an hour ago. Johnny Cardoso. Interesting. The Ward-Prowse deal was really interesting to Forest on loan. Didn't see that happening today, but that's deadline day for you. Moving on now to Bournemouth transfer window. Transfer window I very much like here. Bringing in Daniel Jefferson on a free. He did go out on loan to Watford today. Another good young player from Sheffield. get good experience at Watford, should play a lot for them and come back and be very good. Maybe back up, maybe even starter for Bournemouth next season, depending. Brought in a goalkeeper, Alex Paulson from Wellington in the A-League, £2 million. Don't know much about him, can't really comment. Julian Araujo from Barcelona for 10 million. Great right-back signing for them. They needed that in there. Adams is always injured, so yeah. And Aaron's for the ex-Norwich player, another good right-back they still have, but Araujo adds that depth and quality. Dean, don't know how to pronounce his name, going to call him Dean, from Juve. Centre half needed that. Will be very good for them in the middle under Iraola, £15 million. Surprised out of all the clubs he could have gone to, he went to Bournemouth, but Bournemouth becoming a club for young players to develop, as seen with Solanke. Enes Unal, another, well, technically, yes, did come in, technically didn't because I had him on loan last season, but they spent 16 million pounds on him. Big forward up there. Scored a few goals last season, I think, and probably should score a few this season to help Bournemouth push up the league a little bit more this season. Luis Sinisterra, another one, was on loan, bought in for £23 million from Leeds. Got injured last season, I think. Played a little bit. Obviously, we know he's a good player. Can he push on this season? Hopefully. I don't know. I probably don't think so, but we shall see. The big signing for Bournemouth. I want everyone's opinion in the chat on this. Evanilson. Absolute baller. I got him on the back of my Porto shirt. 40 million pounds, rising up probably to about 50. Will he score goals this season for Bournemouth? Will he replace what Solanke gave them? I think so. I like him. I know Brighton were after him a few seasons ago when he was a bit younger, a lot more money they wanted. But interesting signing for Bournemouth. That is always the problem. Can he live up to the quality of Prem football? From the Portuguese league, Nunes hasn't quite hacked it yet. While Nunes is a good player from Benfica, can he hack it? I don't know. We shall see. How many goals do you reckon he'll score? I reckon we'll go with 8. I'd take 8 first season if I was Bournemouth, but not quite replacing Solanke. Speaking of Solanke, 7.4. How can he score 0.4 of a goal? Interesting. Is he going to have an offside goal and only counts as 0.4? Dominic Solanke, as we said, out for about 65 million pounds. Great signing for Tottenham. Big loss for Bournemouth. Can Evanilson replace him, as we said? I don't know. Kiefer Moore out. Wasn't going to play much. He's 31 now. Lloyd Kelly out on a free. Big loss there. Big signing for Newcastle because he was very good for Bournemouth. Jamal Lowe didn't play that much really. Out on a free. Traore went out on loan. He played quite a lot for them, so I'm surprised that happened. But obviously they didn't see much need for him. Anthony went back out on loan. Jefferson, as I said. Roman Favre. A couple of good loans out there. Get some experience. But Favre is 26. Can he come back? I don't know. And obviously, oh yes. They have just signed Kepa. Good goalkeeper signing for them after all their Mamardashvili links. Most expensive goalkeeper in the world ending up at Bournemouth on loan is a bit of a random one, but I think he'll be all right for them if he gets consistent game time, which he will. It'll be a strange signing if not. Very solid signing, yeah. And I assume your 7.4 was their rating for the window. Losing Solanke is big, but I'll probably say around a 7 as well. Probably fair, 7.5. Evanilson's good. They signed the players out on loan. Didn't really lose anything too big. Obviously Solanke and Kelly, but apart from that, replaced with Dean and Evanilson. Okay. Yeah, I don't. First time I've streamed, so we'll see. Hopefully next time we'll be able to get some overlays and see the chat properly and everything. But Who knows? Maybe if I pull this mic a little bit closer, you might be able to hear me a bit better. Next up on the old transfer list agenda is Brentford. Good, thanks, Dobbo. Good signings, I think. This is one of my favourite windows, I'd say. Gustavo Nunes, never heard of him, if I'm honest. 12 million, good winger, Brazilian, 18, can't fail. Will never fail a signing like that. Fabio Carvalho for £25 million. Good signing, very good signing. If he gets consistent game time, if he doesn't get injured, then I can see him being big. It's the battle of Carvalho and Emil Smith-Rowe, as me and Ben said in our predictions video. Sepp van der Berg, another signing for Liverpool for around the same price. Needed a centre-back because there's an aging with Adja and me more specifically, the older one. Van der Berg, 22-year-old, was on loan at Preston, I think. Might be Preston, might be wrong. We'll see that in a minute from Liverpool's. Can he, as I always put in the chat, can he be a good Prem centre-back? I don't know. I hope he can, because he's another young player that looks to have a bright future. And obviously the main signing replacing Tony, the other big signing we're expecting today in the Saudi Pro League for Al Ali. All but done, pretty much. Tony out. Igor Thiago was his replacement for about £33 million. Got that one done early, did Brentford. But unfortunately, he looks to be out till Christmas. Yeah. Out till Christmas, Thiago. But Brentford have looked all right with Sade, Wiesat, and Burma. If they can really gel together, then we'll see. Moving on to their departures. David Raya. Yes, they got £30 million for him, but he wasn't there last season, so it doesn't really matter because they've already got Flecken in terms of outs. That's really about it in terms of big ones for Brentford there. So, slap Ben Mears striker. Bit like Michael Keane and Everton, yeah? Obviously, we're going to include Tony in this out for about £40 million. How we rate Brentford's window? I'd say very good window. Thiago, when he's fit, if he scores the goals, obviously great replacement. Van der Berg, Carvalho, and Nunes. If they're, as Ben said, with attitude, then I won't be saying live on stream. But again, a good window. Maybe every team has had a solid 7, I'd say. Maybe an 8 for Brentford. What do we reckon in the chat? Why you're giving me your opinions in the chat? Come on, everyone. Not just Dobbo doesn't need to type in the chat. Everyone can type in the chat. Gertrude just signed as RB Leipzig player from Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Sancho to Chelsea, another one we could be seeing in the next couple of hours. Perfect, Dobbo. Sounds good with me. Right, while we're doing that, we shall move on to my club, Brighton. In terms of ins, we have had a lot of ins so far this summer. Maybe I don't think we'll have any more in the final hours, but we shall see. We've apparently had an offer of 20 million accepted for Conrad Harder, a good young striker, but that's one that could get done. Obviously, Ruta come in for £40 million release clause. Looked good in his 7 minutes against United. Obviously, got a lot to prove with 40 million. Wasn't that great for Leeds in the Prem. Was good in the Championship. 16 assists. Minter, the next one, 30 million, £32 million. Has looked very good in pre-season. Good at Everton. Pretty good at against United. Another one. Money for Brighton so far. Mats Vifer from Feyenoord. Played with Minter last season. £30 million. Was good in pre-season. Good against Everton. A little bit rusty. Getting used to that Prem pace, but was good against Everton. Didn't play against United because he's injured. And he's 49.51 to play tomorrow against Arsenal because he might not be back from injury. Brijan Garuda, £30 million from Mainz. Also got injured. Hasn't played a game yet for the club, but he's back in training. Hopefully he gets some minutes tomorrow, if not after the internationals. Minter, yes, Minter is your guy, Dobbo. Hopefully he becomes even better than he is already. Maybe another big sale for Brighton in the future for this guy up here, Kuba Minter. Garuda, can't really comment too much on Garuda at the moment, but he looks a good young prospect. The saga that went on for years and years and years, it felt like. Ferdi Kadioglu from Fenerbahce, 30 million rising to 35, it seems. Finally got that one done. Hello, mate. How's everyone doing in the chat? Yeah, Ferdi Kadioglu. Good signing for Brighton there. Needed another fullback. Probably, it says left back here. And he did play left back a bit for Fenerbahce. Quite a lot, actually. But it is a Benfica shirt, if you can see there. Old, a couple of seasons ago. Maybe 2021, maybe. I think. 2020, 2021. Maybe 22. No, it was 2021. But yeah, Kadioglu, big signing for Brighton. Oh, no. Nah, we don't. We have a few Portugal shirts you've seen on the channel. We like Portugal teams: Porto, Benfica, Sporting, Braga. The other one from what they called from Albufeira. I've seen them a few. Went there on holiday. Immortal got their shirt as well from Portugal. Got a couple of new shirts coming soon. Sweden, Chile, Colombia. Got a York shirt. Looking forward to showing that one on the stream or the video. But yeah, back to Brighton. Kadioglu, good signing. Will play right back for us most likely. Very important signing. Again, another one, new signing. Got injured. Apparently out for 10 days. So we'll miss the game tomorrow, unfortunately. But we'll be back after internationals. Then, Matt O'Reilly from Celtic, £30 million. Again, another new signing got injured against Crawley. Awful tackle. Disgusting tackle. Looks to be out for maybe 10 weeks. Needs surgery on his ankle. But when he's back, hopefully he hits the ground running. Evening, Oliver. How are you doing? We've got Ibrahim Osman coming in February. Crawley was Brexit, but yeah, something like that. Ibrahim Osman, 15 million coming at the start of February. Played a few games in pre-season, looked all right, but went out on loan to Fenerbahce, to Feyenoord. Same difference. Both F&E. Got his shirt up there. Hopefully, really hoping that he comes good because that was an expensive shirt. But yeah, then we move on to Malik Ukaye for £7 million from IFK Gothenburg. Played a game in one of the games in pre-season. Looked good on that 8 role. Young player. Played in under 21's game against Crawley. Looked by far the best player, but you'd expect that for £7 million. Has just gone out on loan to Austria. Moved to St. Pauli. Fell through, unfortunately. That would have been a nice club to see him at. But yeah, be another one to keep an eye on. Mario Koza-Dewberry coming on a free transfer. Another one that's just gone out on loan to Blackburn. Looked very good in pre-season, scoring 2 goals. But a loan move is probably the best for him with the winger options now at Brighton with Adingra, Ruta, Minter, Mitoma, Solly coming back soon. It's probably the right move for him. Who else have we had? Nothing in of not much there. Maybe get Harder in this evening. Maybe Oliver Arblas that we've been linked to this afternoon, with Billy Gilmore going out potentially. And then in terms of outs, thanks for the like on the stream. In terms of outs, Dennis Undav, one that took another long time, about £30 million. He wanted to go, probably the right decision to let him go. Unfortunately, same with Pascal, 7 million to Dortmund. He deserves that move. One, you can't deny him after what he's done for the club. Mark Leonard out for about 300k to Birmingham. Big sign for Birmingham there. Looked like he could have got in a chance with us this season, but no. Adam Lallana went on a free. Not that. He was a good player. I like Lallana. He was a great professional with it to have at the club, but always injured. Better to let him go. Good luck at Southampton. Weir and Kozlowski both out. Two young players that never really hit the ground running like the other ones. So not surprised they went Facundo Buonanotte to Leicester on loan. A little bit of a surprising one there, as Sarmiento has now gone out on loan to Burnley. That was happened about an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So two big prospects for their out on loan. Yeah. As I said, Osman went out on loan. Barco went out on loan. That was a surprising one, but we got Kadioglu now. So hopefully Barco gets some minutes for Sevilla, quite a lot of minutes this season. Purvis back as well, which is good. Simmer went out on loan. One that looked a bit average in pre-season. One that will probably be sold on next season. And then Yaku, as I said, Rushworth went on loan to Hull. Get some minutes there, like he did at Swansea last season. Hopefully he comes back next season. Maybe we sell Verbruggen on for some big money. Andrew Moran got a hat-trick of assists Tuesday night, sorry. On Stoke, another good young prospect there. And McGill went on loan to MK Don. So a lot of outs for Brighton. Good young players who come back and hit the ground running next season if they get the minutes they deserve this season. But we shall see. And again, rate Brighton's transfer winner in the chat. For me personally, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. If we got a centre half in, it would be a 10 out of 10. There's still time tonight to do it. Can we do it? We've been linked to a few. Hummel still hasn't got a club. Maybe that's one to keep an eye on in these last 4 hours of the window. But yeah, I have to say I can't see anything happening in Woods, to be fair. So it'll be a long night without much happening. Probably right. Conrad Harder looks like that could happen. £20 million reports from Sporting that he's not going to them. So that could be one we get in. Probably we'll go straight back on loan, I think. It'd be a bit weird to have another attacker. The boss Giglia from PSV looks to be staying at PSV, but who knows? Oliver Arblas that we were linked with, if Billy goes, which that looks like it's going to happen because he's having his medical currently, I'm told. And we've also seen that on Sky Sports. Maybe Hummels. Who knows? That could be a late last minute signing. But yeah, 8 out of 10. I think anything above an 8 is probably a fair judgment of our transfer window. But it all depends how the players get on, really. Because yes, we've spent the money, most money we've ever spent in the window, and it's good players. Once they're back from injury after the internationals, that's when we can really tell. Yeah, any questions you have in the chat about transfers or anything, let me know and I can try and ask anything you want to know to a couple of journalists. That's another one. See, Kadioglu is only 10 days, so he probably wouldn't have played at Arsenal anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Most people think it's just because they don't want him to go on international so he can have more time integrating in the club, which makes sense. That usually happens. So Kadioglu being injured doesn't matter that much. O'Reilly's obviously the big one, but we've got a Yari, Baleba, Milner. Ruta can play there. Garuda in there as well. Maybe Oliver Arblaster comes in. That'll be a nice last-minute signing. I don't think... Obviously, it's annoying O'Reilly's injured and gutting for him. I don't think it's end of the world yet situation, unless he is out for a while, but it only looks to be about 10 weeks. Sancho to Chelsea looks to be one that's going to happen. Moving on now to, speaking of Chelsea, this might take me a while to go through the list of incomings. Pedro Neto, 60 million, biggest signing in the summer for them. Good signing. Who would really strengthen us? Okay, we'll go back to Brighton for a minute then. We'll stick on Brighton because Chelsea's going to take a while. Who would really strengthen us? I do think I've rated Arblaster last season. I do think he'd come in and he'd be a good option for us, and he would add a bit of depth that is sort of needed in the midfield. So I would take him depending on the price. 20 million max, 25 maybe pushing it. Boss never watched Busquiglia, so I can't really give an opinion on that one. While people do say he's a good centre half, not one I can give an opinion on. Hummels would be good. Would he improve us? I don't know. Yes, he's experienced. Yes, he's a very good player, but at his age now, can he meet the pace of the Premier League? I don't know. Wouldn't mind. Obviously, Colwill will be a big signing if that randomly happened, but it's not going to happen. Chelsea won't let him go now. But Colwill would strengthen us again. I wouldn't even be against getting Trevor Chalobah in on loan, or a cheap signing, 10, 15 maybe. He would be a good option at centre half. Do we need a centre half though? Webster looked good against Crawley. Yes, it's only Crawley, but Webster could be one that impresses this season. Eagles a good option. I don't think we really need anything else, to be honest. I think the squad where it is right now is more than fine and one that could easily do well for us this season. You got any players? Anyone in the chat think, Oliver, you think anyone's going to strengthen us that we could get in these last 4 or 5 hours? Osman has rejected Chelsea's latest offer of €155,000 per week. Wow. I would take that wage. More than happy to take £155,000 a week. What do you want to do, guys? Do you want to carry on with what we're doing, looking at the Premier League clubs transfers, or do you want to give a preview, quick jump to a preview and preview the game tomorrow? What do you fancy in the chat? I do not mind what we do. We'll move on to Chelsea then. We'll move on to the Chelsea. As I said, Pedro Neto, 60 million, big sign in there for Chelsea. Oh, bless me. Was it needed? Probably not. They've got so many players, but Wolves got the money, they bank the money. They'll be happy with that 60 million. João Felix, probably needed another forward in terms of a central position. Chelsea, £50 million, 45, 50. PSR coming Chelsea's way, probably, but probably not, actually. But Dewsbury Hall, waste of money there. Doesn't play for him, won't play for them, will always be on the bench. Chelsea fans don't rate him, average at best, unfortunately. Would have been good if he come to Brighton, but you. Joe Gomez is a bit overrated in my opinion. I don't think he'd suit us that well. I doubt Liverpool would let him go for 10, especially with the English tax as well. But maybe a Gomez. Would rather Chalobah personally, but if a defender comes in, great. If not, is what it is really. I'm happy with the options that we've got. But yeah, another Chelsea signing 400 keepers this summer. Philip Jorgensen for 25 million, not needed. Amari Kellerman, 22 million, played about 3 games for Villa's under 21s. Yes, he's a baller. Good young player, looked good. But bit expensive. Will he get the minutes? Probably not. £20 million on Mike Penders, 19-year-old goalkeeper, not needed. 19-year-old centre-back, Ansel Mignon, £16 million, again, not needed. £14 million for Renato Vega. This is one that I think is a good signing. Very versatile for them. Will add a lot for them on the left, on the right, in the middle. From Basel, Caleb Willie for £10 million from Atalanta. Again, not needed. Mark Gui, £6 million. 18-year-old striker from Barcelona. Probably needs a loan. Missing an absolute sitter the other day, but he looks all right. And Adarabioyo on a free. They forgot to register him in their Conference League. Oh, only Chelsea could forget that. Good free signing, though. Was very good for Fulham last season. And now a lot of outs. Here we go. £40 million Mats. We've already spoke about that. Gallagher out. Can't believe they forced him out. £40 million. Very good player for them. I'll be honest. I think he was one of their better players last season, and he loves the club. Captain. Weird letting him go. Lewis Hall had to go. The obligation or option, I think it was an obligation to buy from Newcastle for £30 million. Very good young left back and centre midfielder, 19 years old. Silly for Chelsea to let him go, really, but hey ho. Lukaku finally left, £30 million. Was not cut out for the Prem. Now, was when he was at Everton, but a little bit at United. Never really hacked it at Chelsea. £20 million from Murray Hutchinson. Was never probably going to play for them, so Ipswich got themselves a good deal there. Will be good for Ipswich, as we saw in the Championship. Diego Moreira went to Strasbourg for £2 million. Didn't really see him play. Can't say much. And then the likes of ZXR, Silva, all out on frees, along with Ugochukwu on loan to Southampton. Good signing there for Southampton on loan. Should hit the ground running for them, I think. But yeah, we shall see. Alfred Gilchrist out on loan as well to Sheffield. Another bit of the weird one there, because I thought he was a good player from last season, but obviously not in Chelsea's opinion, and obviously kept it out on loan to Bournemouth, along with another millions of loans. But obviously Silva is a big, big loss for them there. Captain last season, unreal for the last season, even at his age, was absolutely unreal. Can they replace him? We shall see under Enzo Maresca. Here we go. Fabio Silva set to join Las Palmas. Deal agreed with Wolves. Loan until the end of the season with no buy option. Interesting move there. Linking up with Oni McBurney. Leicester exploring late move to sign Odsonne Edouard. We've just moved on to Palace, Dobbo. Do you see Fabio Silva's going on loan to Las Palmas, linking out with Ollie McBurney, just said. That'll be an interesting one there. But yeah, just on Chelsea. Moving on to Palace now. Palace is an interesting window, you know. Yes, I agree. McBurney is better than Mbappe. But yeah, Palace. It's Mark Lazar in for 15. Good rotation option for them out wide, and a wing back. Was very good at Watford. Didn't really hit it at Marseille, but good Prem option. Riyad, I think, is injured now. £15 million from Betis. Good young centre back there, along with Lacroix, who we expect them to get done in the next hours. I think it is all but done. Just an announcement. Just an announcement there, guys, and the ball about to kick off now. We shall see. I don't think they're doing as well as some people prediction. Maybe a 10th, 11th, but I don't think they'll be 5th, 6th, 7th, like some people are saying. Daichi Kamada on a free. Didn't really set the world alight at Lazio, but he does know Glasner was good at Frankfurt under Glasner. So it could be the Elise replacement. Can he replace Elise, though? I don't know. And then obviously we said Lacroix's coming in. Good centre-back for them. That's 3 good options there. Riyad, Lacroix and Gurhi, if they play a 3, which I think they will. I don't know. I saw a lot of people saying Palace are going to be at the top, you know. In terms of outs for Palace, Elite had a big one, 50 mil to Bayern. Company signing all the Championship and young Prem players. Big loss for them, obviously, was unbelievable for them. So another big loss is Anderson back to Fulham for £30 million. Big loss there for them, was key for them last season with Gurhi. Sam Johnson, 10 million to Wolves today. Not that big of a loss. They've got Henderson there, and they're also looking to sign a keeper in these last few hours as a backup. So 10 mil is probably a good deal there. And are you out for £3-4 million to Leicester? Good signing for Leicester. Not that big of a loss for Palace. Not many Palace fans liked him that much. But yeah, it wasn't really going to offer them that much this season. Obviously, I don't like Palace that much as a Brighton fan, but I think they've had a solid window once he's in Nketiah and Lacroix deals are announced. But another out for Palace could be Edouard. Leicester apparently exploring a late deal, probably a low move there. Would be a good move for them. Good move for him as well. But what are we rating Palace's window out of 10? I'm thinking maybe a 6 at the moment. Maybe a 7. Obviously, the loss of Elise and Anderson played big parts here. What do we reckon? 6.5, yeah. Okay. Do you not think the Nketiah and Lacroix deals puts it up a little bit? But isn't Nketiah a good signing for 30 million? Probably jinxing it as a Brighton fan, but no. I don't think 30 million. I think 30 million is too much for Nketiah. Would have accepted 20. But 30 million is a bit too much. As the resident Arsenal fan who comes on this channel, Dobbo, what's your opinion on Nketiah and 30 million? Yeah, not really. Yes, he's got a hat-trick, but I think he will be good for Palace, but not £30 million. You need to hit double figures at least at 30 mil, and I don't see that happening. Moving on now to Everton. Not much going on at Everton, obviously, with the PSR. Big problems there. Still for Arsenal's bank balance, that is. Big problems for Everton with PSR and points reductions. They didn't push the boat out too much. They brought in Jesper Lindstrom, £2 million loan fee from Napoli. Solid player, will be good for them. Obviously brought Tim Iriopoulos in for 10 mil from Villa. Good young player. Was out on loan at Hull, I think. Was it Hull? I think it was Hull. Looked good against us. Young player. I think he will be very, very, very good for them in that midfield. And Dye, about £15 million. Good player, I think. Was at Sheffield. Didn't set the light well too much. Was good at Marseille. Will be solid for Sean Dyche, I'm sure. And the big one for Everton, Jake O'Brien for £20 million. Young Irishman for Lyon. Big at the back. Proper Sean Dyche Brexit ball centre half. And I think he'll be a good signing. I think he'll be one of the signings of the season. But that is only £50 million spent there, give or take. And out was obviously the 60 mil for Onana. We spoke about that. Big loss. Yes and no. People say they didn't rate him at Everton, but he was still a good player in there. Godfrey went random transfer to Atlanta for about £10 million. Loss, I'd say, because he is a good centre-half and was good for them. Dobbin went, played a few games, £10 million. We spoke about that to Villa. Probably won't play that much for Villa yet, but he's a good young prospect. And My goat, Ben thinks he's a something that I can't say on stream. Neil Maupay, out on loan to Marseille with an obligation option of 6 million to buy. I think it's an option. How will he get on under De Zerbi? I don't know. There could be arguments there. Could be a little bit of a scrap coming up with Maupay and De Zerbi. But I'm glad he's out of Everton because it was so toxic. So toxic with him at Everton. And he deserves to be somewhere, hopefully, where it's not going to be as toxic or toxic at all. So, 2 people in the chat. Put in the chat what we rating Everton's transfer window out of 10. Yeah, pretty much. Everyone knows that Dobbo's going to give me a lot of editing when he's on the channel. 7 out of 10. Yeah, I agree. Probably agree. Jacob Ryan and Dye, Iriel and Lindstrom, good, added some quality depth. Replaced Anana sort of with Iriel Bunham. No, you weren't too bad last time. Godfrey, yeah, maybe a 6. Average transfer window, nothing special. Moving on now. Thanks for the likes on the stream. 2 likes. Thanks everyone so far. Can we get that up to 3, 4, 5? If we can get to 5 tonight, that would be unbelievable. Because I am streaming right up until the deadline. Hopefully, if exciting stuff happens and everyone likes the stream. Up next is Fulham. Interesting window here for Fulham. We're starting with a free for Ryan Sessegnon. Was set to go to Palace. That did not happen. Back to Fulham. Could be good for them. I think he will be good for them. And then they brought in Sesunka or something. I can't pronounce it. Centre half. Never heard of him, if I'm honest. £5 million. Can't comment that much. Wasn't Villarreal. Probably will be all right for them. It's good for them. We've already got a song for Pascal Gross, mate. Pascal Gross on Fire. So if I sing the Pascal Gross on Fire song, you'll like the stream. Is that what we're saying? But yeah, Sander Bergin, £23 million. I think that's fair. Good player in there for Sheffield. Was good for Burnley. Will replace the outgoing Paulinho. Can he do as good as he did? I don't know. Has to be unique. No, I made the song, Dobbo. I made the song. It's on the YouTube. Hang on.
Hi guys, welcome.
There we go, guys. This is for live on the stream.
Cuts crosses all the system, crossing past and 2. From Ingolstadt to Brighton to playing white and blue. 5 assists this season, he's gonna get the chance. And when he scores the winner, we're gonna sing a dance. He will score goals, Cross will score, and set lots more. We will score, he'll set them all. Cross will score, and set lots more. He will set them all. Pascal Gross on fire. Your defense is terrified. Say Pascal Gross on fire. Your defense is terrified. Say Pascal Gross on fire. Your defense is terrified. Pascal Gross on fire. La 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 Brighton. La 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 Brighton. La 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 Brighton. La 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 Brighton.
There we go. Stop sharing that now. And we'll move on back to where we were on Fulham. Maybe I can share the screen actually. Oh, yes I can. Here it is. This is better. This is what we're looking at. Everyone needs to like the stream after seeing that. But yeah, Sander Berger on. Good sign in there. Joachim Andersen back to Fulham. Good sign in there. Was great for Palace last season. £30 million. Maybe a little bit expensive for a 28-year-old. Maybe. but I think it'd be good for them. Needed that after the loss of Tosin Adarabioyo, and the big one, £30 million for Smith Rowe. Can he find his fitness again? Can he find his form that he showed at the start of his Arsenal career? If so, big signing for Fulham. Already looking good so far. Next up is the departures for Fulham. Paulinho for 45.50, probably rising a bit more to Bayern. Big loss for them. Controlled the midfield. Was probably their player of the season for them last season. So big loss there. Paulinho. Tosin Adarabioyo was another big loss. It's on a free to Chelsea. Didn't want to sign a new deal. Moving to their London rivals was good for them. Big another loss. Bobby Doherty, good. Older head. Signing for Leicester on a free. Probably not that big of a loss. Tim Ream played a bit for them last season. A bit of a loss on the free, but he's 36 now. But yeah, what are your ratings on Fulham's transfer window? What are we saying? What are we saying on Fulham's transfer window? I'm gonna go with a 9. Added depth and replace what they needed to replace. £8.6, yeah, that's fair. Next up, we are moving on to Ipswich. Share this. Amari Hutton, £20 million was mental for them last season in the Championship. Good signing. Greaves, solid signing, 20 million. Delap, 15 million. Clark, 15 million. O'Shea, 15 million. Smodics, 10 million. Muric, 9 million. Ogbene, 9 million. And loan for Kajuste, £1.5 million loan fee. I think that's a solid window there for Ipswich. A little bit of Prem experience with Delap, known City. Yes, he did get Arsenal money because of a sell-on clause. But yeah, they've just signed up all the good Championship players, really. Can that translate to the Prem? Maybe. But if they go down, they're straight back up with that transfer window, I think. Spent £126 million. A lot of money there. But good, added where they need to add what you need. A goodish goalkeeper, good forwards, good centre-halves, good wingers. Good in and outs. Honestly, I don't think there's much of note. Sort of like Luton. It's like Luton, but a level above, I'd say. Better quality, a bit more money. Outs, I don't think there's anything big there, to be honest. So, rating their transfer window, I think in terms of Ipswich, that's a 10 out of 10 transfer window for what you need coming up into the Premier League. What do we reckon in the chat? Do we think it's a 10? Missing key quality experience. Yes. That is probably the only downside. Sorry, guys. That is probably the only downside, but they have got youth, which could push them across the line. Muric has some experience. But yeah, maybe they needed maybe an Oxlade-Chamberlain would have been a nice signing for them, maybe. I don't know. But moving on, we are coming up into Leicester. No. Leicester City. What do you reckon on Leicester then? Skip him for 25. That's crazy. So expensive. He's a good player, but for 25, the DMs nowadays, maybe. Can't pronounce his name. Bilal, 20 million. Good young attacker in there. I think that was needed for them. Another attacker from Ghent. Obviously, we all know about Fasawu. 17 million with the loan. Good sign for them. Hopefully it can translate to the Prem, what he's in the Championship. Not on 40 million, haven't heard. Interesting. Haven't heard too much about him. Are you good experience in there? Golding, good young player from Chelsea, part of the Dewsbury Hall deal. 6 million. I think he'll do well for them in coming seasons. Deco Overy, good experience on a free. And Buonanotte, a good young exciting attack on loan. I think they had a good transfer window. I don't think it was quite Ipswich's transfer window personally. But they got good experience in there, good young players. I'll give it a 7, maybe an 8. Not quite as good as Ipswich's, though, I'd say. In terms of outs, obviously, Dewsbury Hall's the one there. We spoke about him. Loss for them was really important. Obviously, the biggest loss for Leicester was Maraska. But Steve Cooper might do enough to keep them up. I don't know. The transfer window for Leicester, what do we reckon in there? I said 7 or 8. Do you agree? Next up is Liverpool's then. Not much going on for Liverpool, really. Chiesas for £12 million. Had a really bad injury the last couple of years. Could be a good signing for them, though, if he brings back his form that he did have. Mamardashvili, 30 million, straight back on loan to Valencia. I think that's a good signing. Replaces Alisson next season or the season after. Probably would become a bit more expensive if they hadn't signed him now. So solid there. And obviously, I've had a few. Vandenberg, we spoke about. Carvalho, we spoke about. Adrian on a free. I don't know how he stayed there for so long. Ramsey on a loan. Williams on a loan. Thiago retired and Matip released. Matip's a loss, I'd say. Thiago, not much so, because he was always injured. But yeah, I think it's an okay, probably the worst window at Premier League, but it's an okay window. Probably a 5. Probably a 5. What do we reckon in the chat for Leicester and Liverpool? Wow. Crystal Palace signed Chalobah on loan from Chelsea. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano. No buy or obligation to buy as Chelsea accepted, reported by David Ornstein. Wow. My signing I just said for Brighton has ended up at Crystal Palace. Fantastic. Next up, after Liverpool, is Manchester City. In on a free, Gundogan and Savinho for £25 million. City didn't really need anything, did they, really? Gundogan bringing him back was fantastic, and Savinho replaces Foden while he's rested for a little bit. Good signing there. Alvarez for 75, big loss there. Was very good for him last season alongside Haaland. Cancelo for 25 he was at Barca, so good money they got from there. Harwood Bellis, 23 million, never played for him, doesn't matter. Gomez out for 9, barely played for him either. Same with Tommy Doyle. So big loss there, really, is Alvarez, who I thought was one of the best strikers in the league. And to Atletico Madrid is a very weird move for him, because it doesn't really suit him, I don't think, but they got the money for him, but we shall see. Transfer for City, a bit boring. Didn't really need to do anything, did they? So I didn't expect much. Just for that Gundogan signing, is probably 7, 6, 7. It's all white window, nothing special. But swiftly moving on now to Manchester United. They needed a big window. They needed an absolutely massive window. And they did have a big window. Euro for 62 got injured straight away. Good John centre back there. I think he'll become one of the best centre backs in the world, personally. But we shall see. Once he's back from injury, we will see. De Ligt, 45 million, 45 million. Good signing there. Good experience. 25, still young. Replaces Maguire. Dutch knows Ten Hag. I think it's a good sign for them when them two are paired together. Xerxes already scored against Fulham. £40 million. Offside goal against Brighton. Did hold the ball up well. Offered them a different dynamic. He'll be good as well with Højlund, I think. Partner each other. Also brought in a right back, which they needed. Mazraoui, £15 million. Needs another fullback. Looks okay against Brighton. Looks good in the Fulham game. It's a good window for United. Maybe they can get more in. Ugarte looks to be the one they're trying to get done in these final few hours, 2.5 hours. Out Greenwood, won't talk about him. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 17 million. 26-year-old to West Ham. Good signing for West Ham. Mazraoui for Wan-Bissaka is probably a good swap. Willy Cambuala out to Villarreal for 10 million. He looked good when he played for them, but they were brought in Euro and De Ligt, so I said, so maybe not that big of a loss. Hannibal to Burnley for 6. Played a bit, not much last season. Not that big of a loss. Palestra as well to Panathinaikos, 6 million. Donny van de Beek finally left. Varane out on a free and Amari Forson out on a free. Varane is obviously a loss, but they brought 2 centre-backs in, as I said, to replace, so it's okay. Out of 10 for United, if they get Ugarte in, probably a 9. I think it is a good window for United. They've brought in what they need to brought in, got rid of what they need to get rid of if the Sancho deal goes through to Chelsea this evening. 6 clubs left to go, and then we will make a decision on whether we're going to keep the stream going on. Up next is Newcastle, who has just had a bid rejected for Anthony, around 35 million, I believe. As I said, Lewis Halling, good young left back, was on loan last season, didn't play that much, will play this season, 30 million, great signing. Lacademos, 20-odd million pounds from Forest, weird signing. It's part of the Anderson deal, but it's a good backup. William Osula for 15 million, 10-15 from Sheffield, good young forward winger signing. I think he will play a fair bit for this season. Brought in Lloyd Kelly on a free, good free signing there, as I said, with Lascelles and Shaw getting on a bit. And then John Ruddy in on a free from Birmingham was another sort of option in there. Not a bad window there. Obviously out, Newcastle had PSR problems they had to sort out fairly swiftly. 40 mil for Anderson and about 32 million for Yankuba Minter. 2 big losses there. Obviously Minter stepped foot in Newcastle once, probably. Watched the game, didn't train, didn't play. So Brighton picked up a good one there, personally believe that. Anderson out, disappointed for him. He was probably a bit sad to leave because it's his boyhood club. But he made the decision to help the club out and he needed to. He will be very good for Forest. But Newcastle do have a lot of midfielders. And Richie went out on a free to Portsmouth. Didn't play much last season either. So we're going to give Newcastle a... Didn't get the Gerhier deal done, unfortunately. That would have been a nice deal to see them get done. But one of the worst, I'd say, I'll be honest. 5. Rating number 5 there. Nothing special, unfortunately, for the Newcastle lads. Up next is Nottingham, the Forest. They spent some money, nearly 100 mil. Anderson, 40 million, 35, 40 million. As I said, great signing for them in the midfield. Looks great for Newcastle. Milenkovic, 15 mil from Fiorentina. Good experience, centre-back there. They needed another centre-half. Souza, 12 million, 24-year-old winger. Don't know much about, can't comment. David Camaro, again, £10 million from Porto. Again, don't know much about centre-half. Can't comment. Jota Silva, £7 million from Guimarães. He looked unbelievable against Newcastle in the EFL Cup, so I can comment on him. I think he'll be very good if he plays this season, which he should. Don't know about that one. Goalkeeper looks okay, £4 million. Will be a backup. Looks okay against Newcastle. Eric Da Silva Moreira for £1 million from St. Pauli is an unbelievable pickup. Yes, he only played one game last season for St. Pauli under Herzler. He looks like a very good youngster, should I say, and one that could be sold on for a lot of money, I think, for Forest. I may make a video about him soon on the channel as a separate video. Alex Romero on a free, good experience there. Out, Niakite, 30 mil. Played a lot. They needed to replace him, which is probably one of the centre-backs they brought in. Got a bit of money for him, though. Vlachodimos, don't need him anymore. Who's they got in now? I can't remember. Not sure. Orion Mangala out to Lyon, but he got loaned to Everton this evening. Worrell left to Burnley, 27, played a little bit, but yeah, it's an okay window from Forest. They've gone for the youngsters here to try and develop them. So we'll give them a 7. Next up, into the final four, Southampton, another newly promoted side. We'll have a quick check of the transfers, see if anything's going on at the moment. Leicester City set to sign Odsonne Edouard from Palace. There we go. That's one there. Brighton have had multiple offers rejected for Sunderland winger Tommy Watson. Value went beyond 2 million. Maybe that's one to keep an eye on tonight. Sterling could be on a move for Arsenal soon. We shall see. If Dobbo's in the chat, what do you think about Sterling's at Arsenal? While I talk about Southampton. Harvard Belletin, 20 million. Good signing for them, I believe. Youngster, knows a bit of City, a bit of experience there. In my fantasy. Interesting. Ramsdale, yes, good signing on 100k a week. Flynn Downs is a good signing. He was good for them last season, 15 mil. Archer, bit hit miss. Could be good. Mattis, Fernandez, don't know much about, can't comment. Brereton Diaz is an okay. Adds some depth for them. Sugawara for 7 mil is an unbelievable signing. For 7 mil will be massive for them this season. Nathan Wood, don't know much about. Ronnie Edwards, future England centre-half. Future England centre-half there, Ronnie Edwards. Yeah, Southampton have had an okay transfer window. Added a bit of depth. Got in a goalkeeper, which they need, centre-half, midfielder, forward. So, do I think it's enough to stay up? Absolutely not. But I think it's an okay window. In terms of outs, Carlos Alcaraz, Charlie Alcaraz went to Flamengo. A bit weird because he could easily hack it for any Premier League club in that lower thing of the lower half of the table. That's the word, for 18 mil. Mara, 12 million out to Strasbourg. Didn't do that much. Same with Linko and Kalasakar. Not cut out for the Prem, I'd say, personally. Good window. 6 or 7 out of 10. What do you reckon in the chat? Up next then is the final 3. Tottenham Hotspur. It was a window for Spurs. It was a window of young quality for Spurs. Lucas Bergvall, £10 million in from Sweden. Good young player there, 18. Once he develops, could become a star. Oberdorf was a out of nowhere 30 million signing, 25-30 million from Bern. Young winger. Would he play that much? I'm not sure. But this next man will, for 35-40, Archie Gray, will play anywhere for them. has to get an England call up in the future. I'll be shocked if he doesn't, unless Spurs ruin him. And we've obviously spoke about Solanke. 55, 60 mil is what Spurs needed, I'd say. Out, Skip. Finally got him gone. Didn't do that much for them. Didn't play that much. Good. Same with Royale. Same with Rodon. Same with Dyer. Same with Sessegnon. Same with Ndombele. Same with Perisic. Same with Tanganga. Same with Højbjerg. Same with Gill. Same with Solomon. Velez needed the money, the move. So he'll be good for them next season, I think, if he gets the minutes. Yeah, I agree. Bergvall is the type of signing Brighton would make. Spurs had a good window. Not top 4 quality, I'd say. But Gray and Solanke, the stands out there. Maybe an 8. Give them an 8. It was a good window. Can they get any more done this evening? I don't know. What do we reckon in the chat? What do we reckon in the chat? Final 2, West Ham and Wolves, upcoming. West Ham had one of the windows of the summer, I'd say. Brought in good quality. Paid a lot of money as well. Kilman for 45 mil is expensive, but good centre-half. Experience. They needed it. Somerville, good young winger. 25-30. Needed a winger. Fulcrum, typical West Ham signing, but 31 years old and 25 mil. But expensive, but I think he will score a few goals. Luis Guilherme, 23 million from Palmeiras, 18-year-old winger. If he gets the minutes he should, will be a very good signing, and West Ham will sell him on for a lot of money. Wan-Bissaka, good signing. As I said, 15 million. Needed a right back in there. Guido Rodriguez, good free signing. Same with Fotheringham. So it's a good, very good in window for West Ham, for the Hammers there. Spending some money. I don't think West Ham will be high this season. Obviously, Suller, you can see down here, that's all but done, it seems, on a loan. So another good bit of experience in there. And the squad with Lopetegui now that could push slightly higher this season. Maybe not. We shall see. Out, Downs went Southampton, as I said. That was expected. Ben Rama got his permanent after his loan. That was expected. Kerhert went. He wanted to leave. And Zuma looks to be another one out. And obviously, Ward-Prowse on a loan to Nottingham Forest this evening is one we're going to get the done deal, which is an interesting one because he's a very good Premier League player. I'm surprised West Ham let him go. And finally, coming up is Wolves transfer window. And I'll be honest, guys, I might end the stream after this one because not much is going on. I know as soon as I end it, something will probably happen, but I might jump back on later if something big happens with Osimhen or Sancho or anything. But it was a good test just to get an hour and a half or so done on the stream. And I will try and get some overlays and make it look a bit better and get a nice stream going for you guys soon. But yeah, on to Wolves, final one. Rodrigo Gomez for 15. Good right midfielder. Don't know too much about him, but another young Portuguese player. Sam Johnson for 10. Good signing there. Needed a keeper in there to compete with Sarr. Pedro Lima looks amazing for 10 million. Was set to go to Chelsea. Brazilian lad. Got an assist for them in the Carabao Cup, I believe. Good signing from City. 5 mil after the loan. Good for them in midfield. Strand Larson low. Big centre forward. They needed another big centre forward up there. Yeah, it was a good window. If they look like they're bringing in Carlos Forbes on a loan with 10, 15 options to buy, so he could be good. A youngster that didn't really hit the ground running at Ajax. Out, Pedro Neto, a big one, we know, 60 million. Kilman for £50 million. Big losses there. Did replace the winger of Carlos Forbes, it looks like, but centre-back wise, this 18-year-old, can he play? I don't know much about him, if I'm honest with you. And then Hugo Bueno went out on loan. He played a bit. Good loan to Feyenoord for him. But yeah, in the chat, yeah, it is deadline day. That's the whole point. It's meant to be just transfers. But if you guys want to see more streams, let me know, and I will do more streams, and I'll try and get some guests and talk about getting more of a plan together for the next one. But thought I'd just hop on and see what happens on this one. But yeah, I know as soon as I jump off, something will happen with some transfers, but oh well. But yeah, maybe we'll go live once a month and we'll plan some stuff. But yeah, who do you reckon had the best transfer window? And what do we rate Wolves' transfer window? And what big signings do you reckon will happen before the deadline in the next 3 hours? Transfer window of the summer, personally, I'd say Brighton. I think we had the best transfer window by far. Close with West Ham, though. Big signing tonight, I think, will be Osimhen to Chelsea. And I think Wolves had a 6 out of 10 transfer window. What do you guys reckon in chat? We'll have one more check before the end of the stream. Yeah, 6 out of 10 is fair. Go on then. There we go. Oh, Raheem very keen on the move to Arsenal. That could be one that gets done. But yeah, who had the best window? And then I will be ending the stream. But I will definitely get back on. Yeah, I like Bournemouth's window. I think it's an interesting one. But yeah, thanks for the likes on the stream. And thanks for everyone that did come into the stream. Sorry, there's not that much to talk about. I was hoping that some stuff will pop off on transfers while we're on, but nothing's happened in the last hour and a half. And I think it'll just get boring for you guys if we just stay here waiting for something to happen. But yeah, we'll be back streaming next month. We will get some stuff together that we can talk about. But let me know on the Instagram in the comments. I will do a big focus is going to come soon on the channel now with uni and everything. Really going to push the TikTok, the Instagram, the Twitter, and the YouTube. But yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, thanks Dobbo for the chat and everything. Thanks Oliver. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Next video, we shall see what it is. Peace.